Hi, everyone. We're going to get started here in a couple minutes. We still got some more people joining. So give me about 2 minutes and we'll get started. Can everyone hear me okay? Just want to make sure. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? You can use the chat box below. Thank you. Thank you. Sweet. Hope everyone is doing well on this fine Thursday afternoon. Wow. Whew. Thursday morning. See how my day has gone so far, huh? So it looks like it's 2 o'clock. We got a couple more people joining, it looks like. So we'll give it another minute before we go ahead and get started. All right. Well, I hope everyone is doing well, and good afternoon, and welcome to another Qgiv webinar. I'm so excited for today. This is actually our first webinar that we'll be doing in our office again. It's been just over a year and a half now since we've actually been able to come back into the office. So it's super exciting to be back in my old office and all of my nice decorations around. We got a very, very exciting topic to cover today: how to engage virtual donors with text fundraising. So those of you that are unfamiliar with Qgiv, we are an online fundraising platform that makes it easy for nonprofits of all sizes to raise more money online. We have solutions for everything that you need, including year-round fundraising tools, text giving, peer-to-peer fundraising, silent auction tools, and much more. So a few house notes before we begin. We will be recording this webinar, and I'll send you a copy to the link once the webinar is complete. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have. There are 2 options down below. So there is a chat box, and I would encourage that you use that for a general discussion. And there is a Q&A option as well. I would use the Q&A option for any of the questions that you have. I'll try to get to those as they pop up throughout the presentation, but if I don't, I'll try to cover all of them at the end of the presentation. And please share your highlights and takeaways with the hashtag QGiveWebinar, and make sure to follow us at Qgiv. So a little bit about myself before we begin. My name is Justin Cook. I am the product marketing manager here at Qgiv. I've been here a little over 2.5 years now, and my areas of expertise are in digital marketing and optimizing the user journey. I volunteer at different nonprofits here in Lakeland, and in fact, I head up the volunteer committee for Qgiv. And I do have 5 animals, 3 dogs and 2 cats, so it's really helpful that I'm not at home right now. They do like to make random appearances when I am doing a webinar, so at least we won't have that for today. So I think we've all heard this 1,000 times before, but it still holds true today. Life is really distracting, and it's even more so right now that your donors that are working at home, they're taking care of their kids, and school just let out for the summer. So now they're at home all the time. They're doing chores, trying to keep the house in tip-top shape. And when they do actually have downtime, they're diving into their hobbies. So it's super hard to keep those donors engaged, and even more so when we don't have in-person events to capture their attention and focus just on your mission. Emails can and will be missed. Social posts and ads can and will be scrolled over. So with all of these distractions, how can your organization engage donors while they're sitting around at home and raise more in the virtual environment? And our answer to that is text fundraising. It's a great way to capture donor attention and engage them with your nonprofit. But why text fundraising? Well, let's dive in a little bit to why we think text fundraising is the best option to engage virtual donors. To really understand how to use text messages, it's useful to know why texts are such a powerful communication tool. There are many interesting statistics about text message communications that shows why they are so effective at reaching your donors. First off, 91% of Americans own a smartphone and they look at them around 80 times a day. 98% of text messages are read within the first 5 minutes. And according to Qgiv stats, $102.65 is the average text donation amount for our platform specifically. Another thing too to add on to this is that many of your donors are already used to making transactions through their phones. Using some of the best practices that we outline in this presentation today will give you the ability to make it easier for those donors to give to your nonprofit. There are so many different opportunities to connect with people and inspire their generosity. If you're considering adding text communications and text appeals to your fundraising toolkit, it's very important you understand who wants to donate by text before you decide to add it to your plan. Luckily, we have some insight from our recent generational giving report that'll make it easy for you and shed some light onto it. So we interviewed a little over 1,300 donors who had made a gift within the last 12 months about their donation preferences. So let's take a look at those. 10% of all respondents said that they did prefer to give by text. Now, at first glance, 10% doesn't really seem that impressive, but it's really impressive when we actually dig further into who prefers to give by text. And the overwhelming majority is that it's the younger generations. It's your Gen X, it's your millennials, it's your Gen Z. Those made up the majority of the respondents that wanted to give by text. And I don't think it's really a big shock to any of us that baby boomers did not prefer this type of text fundraising. So you are going after the younger generations here, and you should be tailoring your text communications to this audience specifically. How to use text fundraising? You can use it in all of your different campaigns. You can use it when you're year-round fundraising. You can use it during your year-end and giving day campaigns. You can use it in events such as galas and races. You can also include this into your peer-to-peer events and help your participants raise more for you using text fundraising. You can use it for your silent auctions events as well. And I mean, we have so many different options that you can use this with. We'd be here all day though if I tried to list them all out. So let's just go ahead and get started on what we're going to be covering today. And what we're going to cover is how to use text fundraising to engage virtual donors during your year-round campaigns, during your giving days, and during events. We're going to go over some text fundraising best practices so that you make sure that you're prepared when you do implement this strategy. And I'm going to tell you how we can help you with your text fundraising. So let's get started. How to use text fundraising to engage virtual donors. First, use text fundraising to boost year-round donations. And the first method that you can do is it's a great way to keep donors updated on campaign progress, on company news, and even invite them to your upcoming events. So when you're looking to communicate with donors about campaign progress, make sure that you're communicating with them about what your fundraising goal is, what you're fundraising for, and how close you are to that fundraising goal as well. And give them the option to donate. This is a great way to boost your overall fundraising efforts, especially when you're super close. And a simple ask really goes a long way. When you're sending out company news, this is really important for some donors as it builds trust. Referencing the generational giving report again, we did see that a lot of donors would research the organization before they decided to donate. So sending out company news about big updates, even just something small as saying that we did X, Y, and Z for our community is a great way to build trust with your donors, and they may even be inspired to give again. Through text fundraising, you'll also be able to send appeals directly to donors and give them an easy donation option. So if you're looking to boost some of your additional funds, you're trying to get a campaign off the ground, text fundraising is a great option as it provides you that very effective means of communication to sending out appeals. And it does inspire, like we said before, $102. Like that's a great donation amount for an organization. It's also a really great option for recurring giving. You can text your current donors, your current recurring donors, and you can even ask them to upgrade or increase how often they're giving to your organization, or simply just say, hey, I'm super happy that you're giving to our organization. Let them know that you appreciate their support. And for a bonus, you can send out a text to donors, letting them know that text to donate is an option. This is a big miss on some organizations that do actually implement text fundraising, is they just don't let their donors know that this is an option now. And a simple text such as this saying, our organization now offers the convenience of text to give with the keyword included and the text to donate number goes a very long way for your organization to build awareness and to let donors know that that's an option. So some best practices that we can talk about here: allow your donors to give one-time or recurring gifts. Make sure that your form is mobile optimized. Obviously, if you're sending out a text message and they're going to complete their donation on a donation form, you're going to want your form to be mobile optimized. Make sure that you have both one-time and recurring enabled. Give them the option. Donors like to have their own preferences, and if you give them both options, you may even be encouraged to upgrade their gift to a recurring gift, which would be pretty great. You can also tie different keywords to pre-selected donation amounts, and you can actually do that for both one-time and recurring. So if you're really communicating strongly to donors that you're looking for recurring giving, you can actually tie that amount to on the form for recurring giving. So that's a great way to boost somebody if you're communicating that with your donors. So another best practice here is that you're going to want to have donors opt into different communications. So if a donor provides you their phone number, make sure that they understand that you'll be sending them communications. This can be as simple as adding that addition to your form, or you can add a custom field that has those donors check in that they want to actually receive communications. And then you can actually dive in a little deeper to ask them what they would like to receive. And you can do this all via text. So you can ask them if they want company updates, if they want to have fundraising appeals sent to them, if they want more information on different events and programs that you're running, if there's any volunteer opportunities. So there's a lot that you can do, and the list subscriptions are very key in communicating with your donors and making sure that you're sending the right communications. I don't know about you, but personally, I do not like receiving communications that are not for me, and I will most likely just delete them. So make sure that your donors are also getting that same type of customization so that they can truly understand which communications they want. And as a digital marketing professional, segment your appeals. Make sure that you're sending out different messages to different types of donors. So as we talked before, recurring donors, they want a specific message versus your one-time donors. Your sustaining donors want to know that you know that they are donating consistently to your organization. So a simple thank you goes a long way. A simple ask like, hey, I really appreciate you've been donating to us. Would you consider upgrading your gift a bit or increasing the frequency that you give? Just a little thank you goes a long way. And as we've discussed a little bit with the text donate, with the intro text, is make sure to include your keywords in all of your other communications too. Email, social, direct mail, on your website, just put it everywhere. It's just as important to let donors know you have a text keyword as it is to have one. So text fundraising for year-end campaigns and giving days. So we all know year-end campaigns and giving days are very big, and Giving Tuesday can be very big for nonprofits itself. However, this time of year is typically very crowded, and your message may not reach the right donors. So you'll be able to stand out by putting together a text campaign. So something that you'll want to do here is make sure that you're communicating key information for your campaign. And we'll dive in a little bit in a strategy here a little bit later. But some of that key information can say, hey, we're participating in Giving Tuesday this year, and communicating to them why it's such a big day and why it's so important for them to give to your nonprofit. Make sure that you also are including the progress to your fundraising goal. Like we've talked about previously on different types of webinars, you have a goal in mind and donors like to provide for that need. And showing them that they actually made a difference for your nonprofit goes a long way. When you do send out fundraising appeals, like we said, make sure to include that progression and make sure that you're sending thank yous as well. It's very important. Your donors, like we said, they love to be thanked. Make sure that you're showing their appreciation, and text fundraising is a great way to do that. So a bit of a strategy, we can talk about a little bit of a strategy that you can implement here. So before the big day, like we talked about, let them know that you're participating. Let them know what day that Giving Tuesday is. A lot of donors don't really keep up on this information, so letting them know what the specific day is goes a long way. And you can even educate them while you're at it. Giving Tuesday is a global giving day. And let them know what they'll be supporting if they donate to your organization. And if you want to link back to your website, a simple want to learn more about your donation can help us. And if you do include a link back to your website, you can actually include a link back to your donation form. Go ahead and get your campaign kick started off even before the big day happens. Something that you can do day of for Giving Tuesday is sending out one more reminder. Hey, Giving Tuesday is here. Support us and give them a reason why they should support you, and include that link back to your donation form. And a pre-thank you before they even donate to you. Thanks for making the world better on this global day of giving is very important. Something else that you can use text fundraising in is for your virtual events. So we talked about previously that text fundraising is a great way to invite different donors into your organization's events. So this is a great way to not only increase the awareness of your events, but also to increase the registration rates that you're going for. But you can also use text fundraising during your event. So this will draw your donors' attention. And like we said before, they're very distracted at home. So being able to keep their attention during that live stream, if it's 45 minutes, an hour, it goes a long way to raise more for your organization. And when you are on the live stream and you're showing off fundraising progress, make sure that you include your thermometer, make sure you include your keyword, make sure that you're including your number as well, so donors know that that is an option. So one way that you can implement text fundraising into your virtual events, number one, send messages before the event, reminding your donors that, hey, this event is coming up. And you can even do what this organization did, where they included a link to their registration form, and they offered an early bird discount, and they offered, like, it was like a, hey, you need to do this quickly kind of thing. So like that emergency, it'll kind of kickstart your donors into actually registering for the event. And another reminder that you can send before the event. So this would be something that you can send the day before. We can't wait to see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the virtual Walk for Animals Facebook Live. And they included a link to where that will actually be. So this was on Facebook Live. And they also included a small appeal in there. They said there's still time to donate, and that you can donate by our text fundraising keyword, which here is humane to 50155. And here's another type of text communication that you can send. The virtual Greenway soiree pre-show is about to begin live at 5:45. So this is that last minute, hey, it's coming up. This is probably going to be about an hour out before you even go there. And make sure that you do include a link back to your website and to where that live stream is. This is also, text fundraising is also a great way to not only communicate with your donors, but to find potential volunteers as well. As we were talking about the list subscriptions before, if they are interested in your organization and with volunteering, this is a great way for them to sign up and for you to get more volunteers for your events. So during your event, you can use text fundraising to actually run appeals as well. Running appeals at live stream as for pledges or donations, show your keyword on screen and your campaign thermometer, and recognize your donors live. We will dive into an example of what that would look like a little bit later, but making sure that you recognize your donors giving to your organization during that live stream, it goes a long way. And send reminders to pledges. If you do accept pledges during your event, sending reminders to those pledges to say, hey, it's as simple as completing your donation here. It's another text message. It can be automatic, it can be manual, but letting them know that completing their donation will go a long way for your organization. And finally, and always, thank your attendees after the event. We all know that thanking your donors goes a long way, and encouraging them through text fundraising makes sure that they will actually see that and to encourage them to stay involved as well. Let's dive a little bit into some text fundraising best practices. Use simple keywords, and we'll talk about this over and over and over again. The harder your keyword is, the harder it is going to be for your donors. So for example, LRC Gala, that's a great short keyword. There's really no room for someone to mess that up. If they accidentally mess that up, it's not that hard to go back and try again. Whereas if you look at Feed All the Kids in Lakeland 2019, that leaves a lot of room for error. That leaves a lot of room for the user error. That also leaves error for the autocorrect that's on the phone to mess up your keyword. Even though you have designed it to be for your donation and your keyword, autocorrect is still a thing and technology will still mess it up. So if you make it short and simple, it's going to make it easier for your donors to give to your organization. And one way that you can look into preventing that is to test your keywords. You want to know if it's going to work, you need to test it. So you can test it on your device, and we also encourage that you ask others to test it on their phone as well. Is the keyword too hard? Does autocorrect mess it up? And does anyone keep forgetting? And it's important that you test this on different types of devices. So Android and iOS, they operate a little bit differently, but making sure that you have someone testing that keyword for you and making sure that your keyword is simple and straightforward will go a long way for your organization and your fundraising efforts. Another big thing, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, promote your keywords. You could have the simplest keyword of all time, but if people don't know what the keyword is, they're not going to be able to donate to your organization. Make sure that your donors can see your keyword and the number in case they need them. So you can include your number and keyword in all of the appeals that you do and show screen during your virtual events as well. You can send it through emails. You can include it in social media, on direct mail appeals, put it everywhere, blast it out there, let donors know if they want to give by that method, it's a super easy way for them to give to your organization. Another thing too is to use it wisely. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Text communication, while it is very effective and highly personalized, it is extremely easy to overuse. Occasional texts are very powerful, but constant texts are intrusive. So if you're like me and managing your email inbox, if I see something that I don't really like or wasn't really expecting, I just kind of hit that delete button, especially if someone is just communicating with me about a product that they have. I don't really care about that. So something that your organization should do is make sure that you're not sending too many intrusive texts and make sure that you're tailoring your communication to the audience that you're going for. And as we talked about earlier, it is that younger generation. So let's take a look at how some other organizations have used text fundraising using Qgiv. So Fresno Mission integrated text fundraising into their Giving Tuesday campaign in 2020. As you can see here through their social media posts, they included a really strong appeal message to their donors. They included their text to donate keyword here, which was Fresno, and they included the keyword as well. They also included a quick link to their donation form online as well. So what that did is that it offered both mobile users an easy way for them to donate to the organization through the text keyword. But if you do have someone on desktop and their phone isn't near, offering that extra layer of communication for them to get to that form will make a world of difference. And as we talked about here, they did include it on all of the social posts, but they included it everywhere else. They included in their email campaigns, their direct appeals, everything that they did for Giving Tuesday, they sent it out through this. And they had a large emphasis on recurring donations. So that's something that we talked about earlier. If you are communicating about recurring donations and you are encouraging your donors to give through recurring, it's an easy way for you to tie a keyword to the recurring donation and a recurring amount as well. So if you want to focus on that, this is a great option for you. Another client example that we have is Junior Achievement of Northern California. They used text fundraising during their virtual gala and they exceeded their fundraising goal. They had a $300,000 fundraising goal, they exceeded it. And here's a couple of things they did. So throughout the live stream, they ran multiple appeals. They showed their fundraising thermometer, as you can see here. I think if I remember correctly, they ran about 6 or 7 appeals throughout the night. They started at about 40%, and the last communication that they sent out, the last appeal that they ran, they were at about 97%. And just over that last 5 minutes or so from them running the appeal to the end of the live stream, they had hit their goal and exceeded it up to that 337,000. So something really, really important that they did, like I said, they included their fundraising thermometer, included their keyword on screen, they included their text fundraising number, and they had a scrolling banner at the bottom there to actually recognize the different donors that were giving during the live stream itself. So donors that gave their information there could actually see their name scroll across the bottom. So that was really cool of the nonprofit to do. And obviously it worked. So that's always something that you can take. So how can Qgiv help you with your text fundraising needs? So we do have two options here. So the first one is text to give through the Mobile Giving Foundation. So text to give is a carrier-based text fundraising method, which basically means that when a donor gives to your organization through text to give, it actually goes to the phone carrier first. And then when that donor is billed every month for their phone bill, they are billed that donation amount as well. And then once the carriers receive that, the Mobile Giving Foundation will round up the money and then send it to your organization. And it's really easy for donors to use this method. So all they have to do is text a keyword, which is tied to a specific donation amount. They confirm their zip code, and the donation amount will be added to their phone bill. So the only caveat here is that your organization will need to be approved by the Mobile Giving Foundation, which if you are interested in that, our sales team is more than happy to walk you through that process. We also offer text to donate through our mobile suite package. So text to donate is a form-based text fundraising method, and here's what you need to do. Donors just need to text your keyword and their donation amount. So as we talked previously, you can tie a donation amount to a specific keyword, or you don't even have to do that. You can allow your donors to select which donation they want to give and the amount that they want to give. Then they'll receive a follow-up message that is a link to your form, and they go to that form and they complete their gift. As you can see on the right screen here, there is one-time and ongoing for recurring gifts as well. So they can select whether they want to just give one time, or they can easily pop over to that ongoing as well and set up a recurring gift with you. It's that easy. And remember, this is $102.65 per transaction on the Qgiv platform. So that is our average text donation amount through the text to donate option. Our mobile suite package also includes these awesome features below. So outbound messaging, so that's what we were talking about before, being able to send appeals to your donors. That is through our outbound messaging. You'll also be able to set up list subscriptions, so your donors can subscribe to different types of communications they want to receive from your organization. You'll also be able to accept pledges. So if they don't complete, you can set up a pledge on the form and send reminder messages to them to let them know that, hey, complete your pledge for us so that we can use the money that you're donating to us. You'll also gain in-depth reporting tools to the Qgiv platform. So not only will you be able to see how your text fundraising is doing, you'll also be able to use our forms and see how you're performing there as well. You'll also gain access to what we call our Fund Hub Live. So that is a live, just updating page with your fundraising campaign for the thermometer. And you can even include your text keyword on there as well. But let's look at that live. So don't just take my word for it. Let's take a live look of an example of how to do this with text to donate. So if you pull out your phones now, you can text Qgiv demo text to the number 50155. A pre-selected donation amount will display. And when you do get to the form, you can use our test credit card here, which is 4111, or it's 4 and then a bunch of ones after it. You can use any expiration date as long as it's after this month. So we chose to use January 2025, and then you can use the security code of 555. So when you do complete that, oh, it's not showing my screen. Let me try and pull this up. I apologize for this. Oh, can you guys, I think you guys can see my screen. So this is an example of what that would look like on the screen. So as you guys donate, Your names can pop up there. It'll show with your donation amount, and the campaign thermometer will automatically update as you go through. Has anyone been able to complete this process yet? You guys can, if you want to chat in. This is a really cool way to interact with our text fundraising tools. It's really easy to use. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my presentation here. It's a really good and easy way to use. It's very quick. Text fundraising is a fantastic way to interact with your donors and to build an even larger revenue stream for your organization. Let's move on. So let's go over today's big takeaways. 91% of donors own a smartphone, and 98% of text messages are opened within the first 5 minutes. So your message is guaranteed to be seen by your donors, and it's a very effective tool to raise more for your organization. Gen X, Millennials, and G prefer text messages. So again, we're aiming at the younger generation here. This is their preferred giving method. So make sure that you're tailoring your content to them. Text fundraising can be used in all of your fundraising efforts. You're not just narrowed down to your year-round fundraising campaigns or events. This is something that you can use all the time for everything. Just make sure that you are being thoughtful of your donors and that you're not over communicating and being intrusive with the amount of text messages you are sending them. Choose a simple keyword, test it, and include it in all of your communications. Remember, if the keyword's too hard to remember, no one's going to want to donate through it. So make sure that it's super easy for your donors to use. And when you test it, make sure that you ask multiple types of people and test it on multiple different devices. We do offer the text to give with Build to Carrier through the Mobile Giving Foundation. And again, that is, you'll have to go through the Mobile Giving Foundation. And if you are interested in that method, we are more than happy to show you how that works. And text to donate, you can send donors to complete their donation through a form. If you are already a Qgiv customer and you are interested in text fundraising, you can email us at support@qgiv.com and we'll get you in touch with your customer success manager to upgrade your account for that. If you want to talk to us about using Qgiv, you can email us at contact@qgiv.com. And if you have any other questions about best practices, you can check out qgiv.com/blog.